Hey guys, how's it going? It has been a while since I've done this. I've been checking the comments and stuff and replying to people, but yeah, it's been a while since I made a video, and I actually did make a video like a week or two ago, and I started to post it, and then I decided not to because I feel like I was in too good of a mindset at the time to really represent what I felt from all this. So I didn't want to post that to give off like a false illusion of what this was really like. I'm trying to find, I was going to bring up a document that shows like all my symptoms and the ones that have left me and the ones that I still kind of have currently. So let me see if I can find this real quick. But for the most part, I mean, I'm still working full time. But it's just a desk job, so I mean, I still have to use my brain a lot because there's like a lot of math and detail stuff, so that's the one thing that I'm still surprisingly able to do, even though sometimes I don't know how. And I've actually been doing that since I was 3 months off, so. For those that don't know my story, I started using Xanax in about 2011, just intermittently for some mild anxiety because I was drinking a lot back then, and I think when I stopped drinking, that started happening. I thought it was just a bunch of issues with my stomach and stuff, and I had the candida yeast or whatever, and I don't know. Whatever happened, eventually, I started going to interdose withdrawals from the Xanax. Then I got on Valium, and I stabilized, and I tapered, and I got off for a little bit, and then I went back on because I couldn't handle the symptoms. Then I was on for another year, and then I cold turkeyed, and then I was off for 2 years, and I was doing all right, but then I was drinking, and I didn't know I wasn't supposed to, and then that sent me back into panic. I took Valium again for 2 weeks, and I cold turkeyed that, which was 10 milligrams Valium, and that was 9.5 months ago. So this time is the worst time for the withdrawal symptoms. I've experienced things I never thought I could feel or think or experience as a person. Gone completely out of body, horrible pain all over, nerve pain, insomnia, jolts, electrical jolts in my brain, like unable to eat. I lost 40 pounds, I think. I was down to like 110. I just couldn't eat. I mean, it was horrible. And I had a lot of existential stuff. So, I mean, questioning my existence, questioning the existence of the universe, why I exist, if my life is meaningful. I often felt like I was going to be talking to myself, or I felt like I was floating out of my body. I felt like I was going to float off the earth. Moments where I felt like I drank 100 cups of coffee, and my mind was just like on, and I could not turn it off. And I mean, I'd be laying there with my eyes closed, but it felt like my eyes were open, and I was just could not relax. That's usually one of my worst ones, is feeling just like open to the environment and exposed. That one's gotten a little better, but I still feel it. I mean, I still feel my symptoms. I'm 9.5 months off, so that just goes to show how long this stuff takes to get better from. I still have a lot of existential stuff where it's partially due to anxiety, I believe, and kind of feeling out of my body, and I don't feel entirely grounded in my environment or my body. I have been able to express emotion more and feel things more. Like I used to not be able to feel love or anything, or anger or anything. All I felt was just scared. That was it. And then other than that, I was numb. But now, I mean, I feel love and stuff again, and I'm able to hang out with my daughter and express emotion and stuff like that. So there are portions of my brain and stuff that I can tell that are healing, but other portions are just taking longer to get to where I'd like them to be. A majority of that is just the mental aspects of it. I mean, I could probably handle the physical stuff more if the mental would begin to get better. That seems to be taking the longest, and a lot of that now is the racing anxiety, and where I feel like I'm just on, like I drink like 100 cups of coffee, and then the other that is just debilitating fatigue, to where I can't even keep my eyes open. I'm just so out of it. And then I also go into these, I guess, I call them dream states. And what it is I kind of just feel completely out of body. And like I'll close my eyes and I feel like I don't exist anymore. I'm not able to sleep during these states. I have to, usually if I eat something or I try to take some supplement or something, sometimes I'm usually able to pull myself out of it somehow. I don't know what causes them. I'm attributing it to the benzo withdrawal. I mean, it has to be. I don't know what else it could be. But it feels like I'm drunk on like some kind of chemical. It feels like I'm drunk on like ammonia or something weird. I know that's probably like a weird way to explain it, but that's the only thing I've been able to come up with. What else? I mean, most of my symptoms I've covered in other videos. I think a majority of this now is just to kind of check back in with people that are experiencing similar issues, and just maybe new people that'll see this video to kind of help them out and let them know that I've been there or that I'm currently there. I mean, I am currently there, but I've been to the worst of it, and I'm slowly pulling myself out of it. It's hard. I mean, there's days like just a couple days ago I had horrible symptoms. I don't know what. I think I tried eating the xylitol sugar. Maybe that caused it. I don't know. Maybe it was something else. But it would feel like my whole arms like weren't there anymore. Like I couldn't feel them, but it felt like they were just phantom limbs, and then they would hurt, and it felt so weird to me. And I would also feel it in my tongue and my jaw and like lower half of my face, and then eventually it'd be like a whole body, and it would scare me. And then I would get these weird feelings of impending doom, like something bad was about to happen. Just terrified. I mean, that's the biggest aspect of this that has messed with my brain is the fear and the terror that I'm constantly in because of this. And I think it's messed with some part of my brain that is just, now it's always on. I mean, I'm always scared. I'm scared of tiny little things make me jump. I've read that it could be like adrenals pumping out cortisol or adrenaline or something because your HPA axis or whatever isn't regulated how it used to be. So whatever it is, I mean, I think it's getting slowly better, but it's still I'm still very symptomatic in that aspect to the fear portion of it. I mean, I'm scared of, like, I was getting a propane tank filled up for my barbecue, and I was terrified that it was gonna just blow up for no reason, and I was like scared to stand next to it, or I'm scared of like when I'm driving in the car, like just little things like the wind blowing sometimes will like startle me. Someone shutting a door will startle me. It's just stuff like that, and it's hard. I mean, to constantly live in fear. I completely understand everybody that's going through it, or that has gone through it, or that will, and it sucks. I mean, I wish there was more I could do about it to help out other people. I wish there was more I could do to make other people not have to suffer through this, and I don't know what to do. I mean, the best thing I've been able to find to do is to make these videos, and I mean, I've gotten a lot of responses and views to them, and I think I've helped out a few people, at least pointed them in the right direction for the support groups. There's pretty good support groups on Facebook, the ones I used a majority of the time in the beginning. There's the Benzo Buddies website, but I don't really care for the site as much because it doesn't seem to be as active, and you don't get the immediate responses that you'll get like on the Facebook group. And that's the thing you really need when you're having a panic attack, or you just need to know if one of your symptoms is normal, so you don't think you're going crazy or dying. You post in the Facebook group, and I mean, you get a reply within a few minutes, as opposed to the forum website like Benzo Buddies. It takes sometimes hours, or you don't get a reply at all because it's not as active. So yeah, I mean, that I just want to get exposure to this now is my main goal, and I don't think doctors should be prescribing benzos for long-term use. I think there should be better warning labels. Doctors should be more aware of what they're prescribing and the addictive nature of the drug and how severe the symptoms could be for withdrawal. I think that needs to be a little more transparent when the doctors are prescribing these things. I mean, if they would have told me all this in the beginning and were a little more forewarning on all of this, I don't know if I would have taken it as much, or I would have been a little more careful about how I was taking it, and I probably wouldn't have drank. That was another thing that should have been warned, but wasn't really, was the alcohol is acting on the same receptors that the benzos are. So even if you stop taking the benzos, you can't drink. You even have to be careful what supplements you take. Some supplements act on the GABA receptors as well. So that's how I actually went back into withdrawal, is just from drinking. Even though I was clean for 2 years, drinking maybe 10 or 15 times throughout that 2 years was enough to set me back. Granted, I did take the Valium again for 2 weeks, but it's astounding to me that the 2 weeks of use was enough to kindle me and throw me back into full withdrawal for this long and this severe, to where I'm having symptoms that people that are cold turkeying milligrams of Xanax off of months or years of use, I'm in the same boat as them from 2 weeks of Valium, just because I kindled myself. So, I mean, that's how dangerous stuff could be, and how careful you need to be after you get off. Because, I mean, you can go right back to how you were, right back to full withdrawal, acute, and that's not a place you want to go. I'm surprised I got through it, honestly. I thought about killing myself every day, multiple times a day. It would hit me like every 5 minutes. Like, the only thing that kept me from doing it was fear, for one, and I guess my family, even though back then I wasn't really aware of how I felt, because I didn't feel anything. I couldn't feel emotions. But again, now I don't want this to be entirely about me or me looking for support. Now it's more about, if you guys have questions or if somebody needs help, just let me know, and to continue to spread awareness about this. It's horrible. I mean, it's hell. I'm sorry if you're going through it now. My best bit of advice is don't cold turkey at all, ever. And if you're gonna taper, try to get on Valium, because it has a longer half-life. So instead of like Xanax, where you take your dose and then it wears off in like 6 hours, and then you take a dose again, you have to keep doing it, or otherwise you'll go in withdrawal. With Valium, I mean, you get a steady dose, and then you kind of start to go down, but then you just keep dosing. So that's why I like the Valium. It stayed in my system longer, and it made my taper a lot easier. But yeah, I actually wish I never would have got back on it. My main thing now, I have a lot of pressure in my head, and it's almost like a ringing, like a racing, screaming feeling, like in my brain, and it feels like it's squeezing in my head, like a vice grip. And then I have that nerve issue in my arms and my tongue, to where it feels like they're like either gonna move, or I can't feel them, or it's a very weird feeling. It's hard to explain. And the out-of-body stuff, and the constant anxiety and depersonalization, derealization, those are kind of my constant symptoms. And all I'm able to do is go to work, and I come home and I play video games. And doing that keeps my mind focused and distracted enough that I'm able to function, I guess. Because, I mean, at work I'm constantly engaged with what I'm doing, so it helps me kind of step away from my symptoms and not focus on it. And then when I get home, I can just play video games, and that helps me distract as well. But sometimes it becomes too much, and I have to just go lay down in bed in a dark room, because, I mean, even right now, the light from outside is really, really messing with me. If I turn the air conditioner on, the sound is really, really hard for me to cope with. I don't know why. Like, any stimulation, whether it's auditory or visual, it's just, you're, I don't know how to explain it. Everything's just harsh. There's no barrier for your brain or anything. It's just, you experience everything tenfold, and it's all very hard to cope with. And the same thing goes for just emotional stuff as well. Talking to people or having to deal with emotions, it's easy to lose my temper or just break down in tears or something. So I'm waiting for all that to get better and go away. A majority of the people around me don't know what I go through, because I'm able to hide it pretty well. They don't know the severity of my symptoms. So, I mean, sometimes I wish I would have just gotten in a fucking accident, because maybe then people would understand why I don't go out anymore, or why I stop going to the gym, or why it's hard for me to clean the house when I get home, or do certain things. I mean, people just think you're lazy, or you just want to sit on the couch, but it's incredibly difficult, and can even increase my symptoms if I go to the gym, which I tried to like a week ago to go work out how I used to. It increased my symptoms pretty bad to where I was laying in bed and having the body jolts again, which I haven't had in a long time. And I had very bad insomnia until like 4 a.m. and then the jolts and insomnia is hell. So, I mean, even working out can increase the symptoms. So, I try to watch my diet, but I don't. I mean, I don't eat like fast food, but I'm still eating like carbs and dairy and stuff, even though I think I shouldn't, because my stomach, that's another symptom I still have, is I have bad stomach pain. The majority of it is like down lower, like around my, I don't want to say my waistline, but like right where your underwear sit, or your pants, it's like all across that. On both sides there's like a burning, stinging pain, and then it travels all the way across. So that's kind of constant. Yeah, and I've had so many other symptoms. It's crazy. But I feel like this pressure in my head, if it would go away, then the derealization and the depersonalization would get better. So I just want it to stop. Like really, I can feel it. It's like something is just stuck in my brain, and it's making everything just be too much. Like I just need to like kind of hide. So either way, I think I'm running out of time on my phone. So again, if you guys have questions, please, I've answered quite a few questions in the comments, so I'm more than willing to help you guys out the best I can, or point you in the right direction. So I know how hard it is, and I'm there for you guys, for real. It sucks, and all we can do is just help each other out in this. Alright, take it easy, guys. I'll try to update again in like a month. Thanks.